Taylor ham and motherfucking egg.
This is how every single successful fishing trip in Jersey starts. Every one. All right, so we're out here a little bit late. Those of you that are going to be asking for the location in the comments, you're not getting it. Since I neglected to wake up early and capture that awesome sunrise footage, which is important, you know, because sometimes you don't catch any fish and you kind of need that sunrise footage. Here's some from the same location like a month and a half ago. I do want to mention one thing before we really get started here. The one comment that will always get deleted, and I mean the one comment, you can say whatever you want, I do not care, but if I don't offer up the location and you put it in the comments, you are getting deleted. If you know where I'm at, great, that's fine. Take these same techniques that I'm showing you in this video, come out here and catch some fish. More power to you. If you don't know where I'm fishing, that's fine too. Go on Google Maps, do some exploring, you'll find that those are your best days anyway. But if you do know where I'm at, you should really know that there's just no need to put them in the comments. You know, you've heard the New Jersey spiel before. This is a densely populated state. In fact, the most densely populated state. We have lakes and reservoirs between 500 and 1,500 acres, and we have a lot of bass fishermen. So it doesn't really equate to a great formula. Got him! Not a giant. That's definitely a good start. He ate that nano jig good. Look at all of the bait on the graph right now. This is a key for this time of year. If you're not fishing around bait, you're probably not fishing around bass. Your graph doesn't lie. If you see bait, even if you're out in the middle of nowhere, make an effort, make some casts, because you might be surprised at what happens. Right now we got water temps that are still pretty mild at 59. These fish don't really stage up in their wintering spots till it dips below 50. It's gonna make today interesting. I'm probably not gonna be able to just sit over a wintering hole and catch them. Probably gonna have to crank a little bit, probably gonna have to move around. I gotta say, over the past year or so, this little Molex nano jig has been kind of a game changer in my fishing, just in the sense that it's like a Ned rig, but I could fish it in water that a Ned rig would never survive in. You know, I could fish it around rocky cliffs that have crevices. I could fish it around wood. I can fish it around pretty much any snags I want, with the knowledge that it is not going to get snagged. You know, I rarely ever snag these nano jigs, whereas Ned rigs, even the 10th ounce size, and we all know they get snagged. It's an exposed hook. Got him. Decent smallmouth. Okay. Oh yeah. Keeper number 2. That's a decent smallie. This day is gonna be good. I mean, I could tell you right now that these fish are already eating the nano jig way better than they were on Saturday. See you, buddy. This is definitely the start I wanted. I think what I'm gonna do is nano jig this spot a little bit more, and then I'm gonna throw a DT6 up there really quick, and then I'll be on my way. I wanna get down lake. I wanna get to some other stretches before it gets later in the day. That's what sucks about showing up late, man. I really do like having a full day when I'm out on any lake or reservoir targeting bass, because especially this time of year and the spring, the lake can change so much throughout the day. So many different patterns and feeding windows can arise that you really kind of need to be out the entire time. Which sometimes I do a good job with, sometimes I don't. I find that the older I get, the harder that is to accomplish. No shit. Got him. Big fish. Big fish. Big fish. Nice smallmouth. Oh, God. Oh, God. Look at this. Look at this. He's got my Binsky. Oh my God, look at this junk. This is bad. Oh. Somehow I made that work. Oh my God. Whew. There we go, man. And it's night and day how they're hitting this nano jig compared to yesterday. Thank you. Well, that could have definitely been disastrous. That's why you don't do what I do all the time and leave your baits that you just threw 5 minutes ago dangling over the side. I'm very bad at that, and it can create moments like this. Got him! Another big smallmouth. God. Got him. Oh, man. You see how these fish are getting the nano jig right now? Whew, amazing. And there's a limit. He's not a big one, but that's 5. That is 5. So I'm throwing this nano jig on a 7-foot medium. And next year I might even go to a medium heavy, because what I found, it is still a jig. You really do have to drive the hook home, even though it's a real small profile. And sometimes I feel like with this medium rod, I just don't get it in there good enough, especially when they're not eating the bait as good. You got 15-pound braid and a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader on here. I feel like that's essential too. I know a lot of people do like to just throw straight fluoro, but for me, light braid on spinning tackle, 90% of the time is what I'm gonna be doing. Especially with something like a nano jig or a Ned rig, because I just feel like it helps drive that hook home that much more. All right, we've now returned to the scene of the crime. I know what's over there. That's what's scary. It's almost worse to know. I'll be ready, but I'm almost gonna be too ready, you know? I might jump the gun on a bite. My biggest mistake here when I came on Saturdays, I still thought I could get the blade bait bite going. So I fished it along this whole edge when the blade bait bite was just not the thing yet. It's still not the thing. I might be able to get some blade bait bites later on in the day. Got him! Giant fish! I don't know how big he is. He looked good. Yep, that's a good one. Biggest of the day. Got him. And that is why we came over to this spot. That's quality. Molex nano jig, cut in half menace grub on the back. It's a real steep vertical drop here. Just trying to creep it as slowly down the ledge as possible. I know they're here, but they might not be turned on right now. Just might not be a feeding window for these fish yet. If you don't think feeding windows exist, by the way, man. Got him. That's a cute one. That is awesome. Look at how that one got it. It's pretty unmistakable when these fish are eating good. All right, so I don't want to put this one in the live well, but I do want to at least trolling motor away from the spot. A lot of times with these schooling smallmouth this time of year, this can be very important. I mean, from my experience and what I've heard from a lot of different people, especially smallmouth guides on places like Candlewood Lake, is if you're fishing schooling smallmouth this time of year and you drop one right back down on a school, that's bad news. You know, something about pheromones. I don't know the specifics. He's gonna be so confused. It's funny, I was just talking about the fish being turned off because the bite was that automatic when I came here Saturday. I'm definitely gonna throw a Ned rig and maybe a DT6 too before I get out of here. He bit it, but he didn't get it. He was eating the trailer. Okay, I felt him on there, but I never felt like he bit it right. And my suspicions were correct. Let's try a Ned rig. Let's see what the Ned rig does. Holy shit. Well, the Ned rig thing worked. Oh my god. That's the biggest one. This has been amazing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I've had a rough 2 months. A lot of transition going on, which is, you know, normal, but definitely hasn't been the easiest mentally. And today is exactly the day I needed. I love fishing. And again, we're gonna take this one out into the depths so we don't disturb the school. Definitely helped going back with the Ned rig. I am curious though, it's not like that's insanely far from the spot. I wonder if he just finds his way right back. I'd like to catch something nice on this crankbait. When I was here Saturday, I lost a big walleye on this DT6. I still don't necessarily have a net. Last year it got stolen out of my boat at Round Valley, and you know who you are. But I do happen to have a trout net laying around, so I just decided to throw it in the boat. You know, maybe I'll be able to land a couple smallmouth with it. And it has come in handy for that on several occasions, but this walleye did not necessarily fit in the trout net. Now you might ask, am I more prepared for the situation today? Not really, but I am definitely not gonna net it in the trout net. I ended up catching one real late in the day on a Goby Binsky, which is another new color, and I just grabbed it. It worked out okay, so if that happens again today, that's what we're gonna do. By the way, that Goby Binsky, which is the new color that's out, is amazing. Look at this thing. The way that that brown top contrasts with the really bright chartreuse belly, especially in either low light or off color situations. yeah, you want to get some of those. Fishsenselors.com. Sometimes I wake up and my stomach's feeling weird, so I can't eat the Taylor ham, egg, and cheese right away. It's not as good, but after you catch a few fish, you don't really care. You're just filling the stomach. Got him. Got him. Big fish. Really big fish. That's a big bass. DT6. Oh my God, that's a giant largemouth. Giant. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's not quite as big as I thought. I thought this was like a 5-6 pounder, but he's still 4+. Man, he smoked that DT6. Oh my God. Come on. Come here. Oh yeah, that's a big one. He's bigger than I thought. He's almost 5. Look at where that DT6 is, man. That's a stud. I gotta get some pictures of him. This one's definitely close to 5. I was fishing with my buddy Carl from Keeping It Real Fishing, who, in my opinion, has some of the best videos on this site. And unlike me, he's prepared and has a scale. I'm sure he has a good net too. And we weighed one that I caught that was very similar to this. I guessed it at 4.8, and I think it ended up being 4.10. So almost 5 pounds. Beautiful largemouth. If the largemouth are biting like that, we've got some more work to do. Oh man, I'm sure a chatterbait would work. I might have to throw it. Now I gotta throw a chatterbait. Just add it to the list. So it's about 2 o'clock at that point. I picked up the chatterbait, went back to the DT6, nothing. Went back to the areas that produced earlier, fished them slow, fished them fast, nothing. And I fished until it was basically pitch black, as you could see. Fished till the very end. Did not get another bite the entire rest of the day after that largemouth. Just goes back to what I was talking about, being there for the entirety of the day, catching the feeding windows, and figuring out the pattern. It was fun, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it's nothing special yet, but believe me, this is still nowhere near where the videos are gonna be by, say, the end of 2020. But at this point, I'm just happy to be back on here, posting consistently with the Uncle Larry's crew. And we've got some good stuff coming up, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys, and that's it. You know, I'm not gonna tell you to subscribe. Fuck that. If you want to subscribe, do it. If you don't, it's okay too.